Hello, other beautiful cohabitants of the world. How are you? Truly, how are you? Because I'm a bit like, what? I haven't done a video in a little while, and that's because I have been heavily working on me. I realised that the last lot of videos I did really tried to rush. I got really carried away with this idea of doing this dry January and Stoptober at the time, and I realised it was just to try and convince myself that I was doing okay. And it's not that I wasn't, it's just at that time I had recently got back from travelling. That thought still heavily gets to me because with the coronavirus, actually it's probably a good thing I'm home, especially like I said in the last videos, my little girl, my dog, she passed away in September, and if it wasn't for coming home early, I would never have got the chance to see her. So I'm really counting my blessings, and I've seen it as a real big opportunity to work on myself. Now since then I've had like 3 jobs, 2 I've still got, 1 I was floating for. I've had temp jobs as well. I really wasn't happy with the temp jobs. I had quite a lot of office interviews, and I came back from a couple of them like, nah, I'm sorry, this isn't me anymore. I knew when I worked in an office that it wasn't the road I wanted for myself. It was really difficult because the money was good. The hours just, I don't know. Actually, the hours, no, it was just the job. I had no real enthusiasm for it. The people there were amazing, and I was great at the work, but I just didn't have that mental drive to do it. I'm actually currently a gardener, as well as, when the pubs reopen, a barmaid at the weekends. Now I love garden work. There's something real satisfying about being out in nature, out in the open, and I'm very lucky because I'm now really not that impacted by what's going on and can still continue to earn a hard living. I've only been doing it a couple weeks, so it's very early days, but it's a start. The other thing I've been doing is that I've moved my room around. So since the last video, my room has changed massively. And that's sort of what I've been doing. It's been a little project to kind of help me sort out my mental state. Because I've always been told it, tidy room, tidy mind. And I have decluttered massively. The other thing as well is that if I'm going to go travelling, there's a possibility that I could settle abroad. Now that is very much what I intend to do, even if it's just for a little while. So it would really help, not missing out on a few things here. So it's a little bit messy at the moment. I've got a desk here. This is my little painting station. This is a GCSE piece that I had, which I'm actually I'm planning on doing up. So stay tuned. I've got now a storage unit. Yeah, it definitely needs a lot of doing to it, but I've got my pole. I've got, I guess, like now a little yoga station. My TV comes parallel, so I can do my yoga load down. I've got my meditation station here, which obviously needs a bit more work. My makeup counter, some cute decor, which should be going up here, and my bed. Now the other thing that I've been doing, which I love, put the light on, also cute, my little zen den. So I've taken into doing a bit of gardening. So I've got some really cool plants here. I've told myself I'm going to start scrapbooking, so for that is I bought 4, and I'm going through all of like my old childhood sort of memory books. Now this is my hella cute cactus. It keeps flowering, which is utterly beautiful. And then I've got this real cool, like, succulent that's sprouted this really long flower. Where's my finger? Here. So, yeah, just doing shit with my time, I guess. I'll be honest with you, like, it's been really difficult to kind of like recuperate a lot of my thoughts. During the December-January period and a considerable amount of February, my anxiety has been like through the roof. And it's been trying to work out why, what's making me feel this way. Because one day I was like, nah, that's enough. I used to have really bad anxiety and mental health, and I've come a long way to who I was and where I am. Just as we all have, you know, life's a continual growing experience, and it's looking at the negative ways of who you are and putting them into something that you can learn and grow from. And, you know, it's shit that I'm not travelling at the moment. I'm like really gutted. But I'm taking it as a good time to redo my yoga, learn more pole. I did a photo shoot in December. Pictures will be coming up on Instagram shortly. Stay tuned. And it's awesome because what I wanted to use it was for a basis as a primary shoot and work on my strength again a little bit more. And yeah, so that's you know, that's another little side project. I mean, with this coronavirus, I don't even want to talk about it, but everyone is, so is going to. I have been insanely naive to, you know, the possibility that it actually could be really deadly. And I don't want to change my personal life. I love my private, you know, but a lot of people have been suggesting to me that I do a 2-week like quarantine, and I don't want to do it. I'm too stubborn. I've got friends to see. However, I keep thinking maybe it is for the best. I still will go to work. But like, I think it's a good time that human beings can learn something. And I think that's just a genuine compassion for one another. Like, every time I've gone into a supermarket recently, the aisles have been dead. And it's, I guess, same culprits, especially the ones that start it. And it's really difficult to say because you don't want to cast a judgment on your people, let alone your country. But compared to what you sort of get highlighted on Facebook of what other countries do, and I'm not maybe just blaming England, but I think sometimes it really shows how inconsiderate we can be towards one another. You know, like, even if you're driving down the street, it doesn't take 10 seconds out of your day to let someone in or let someone out. If someone's pulling out of a junction and, like, they just want to drive, yeah, fair enough, they could be a little bit slow, but, like, you're in that much of a hurry, you just can't let someone out. Like, if I'm driving from town, especially back to my house, I literally let every fucker out. Don't care if it pisses off the person behind me. I'm just trying to be a good person. Like, okay, not maybe every person, because, yeah, I don't want to take the piss. But, like, let's just look out for each other. Why is that so difficult? I genuinely think the earth is calling out for us to be like, wake up, we're not living right. Look how many people have gone into a poverty-ridden sort of state, and we're not even in our 3rd week of the coronavirus, like, drastically affecting us. Like, I keep saying like a lot because I don't really know what to say and how to say it. It's just, all anyone can talk about at the moment is coronavirus. Yeah, it's shit, but we all know what we can do to help. So why don't we use this time to learn more about ourselves, learn more about maybe our families, spend a bit more time with the people that genuinely brought us up. And I think, like, yeah, I don't know, there's so much we could do for this. And I think, you know, the amount of CO2 and pollution that goes into the atmosphere, the earth is generally just calling out for a fucking break. I think there's too many people that are driven by money that would never give up the wealth they've earned in order to help someone else. And I wouldn't expect anyone to spend all their money on someone, but like, if you're a millionaire, £100 will probably be like nothing to you. Obviously, if you've got an income that's generally not affected by this, then what does it hurt? Like, I think we've proved long enough that some people will always be rich and some people will be poor, but I don't think it gets you anywhere. You know, I'm not talking for all people, because some people have nothing and have all the happiness in the world, just as some people have everything and have nothing, and vice versa. I guess some people could, I don't know, it's just, if there was more I could do for people at this time, like if I could afford to have a shit ton of like deliveries or I don't know, toilet roll, or just afford to not work, then I could give a little bit of my wage out to, or we could start a charity to just help. I just want to help people, and I want to like prove that human beings are more than this, because I talk to some people and their expectation of the future is just so negative, and I want to have a family one day and know that my kids and my children will grow up and not have to worry about going outside and getting like stabbed. When can we realise that like if we work together we could achieve so much, but we all end up resenting each other. You know, we take far too much from nature. Look at animals. They use what they have and they're still comfortable. I think we've learnt that there's nothing we can't do, which isn't a problem, but we're not using it for a satisfying measure. We're using it to destroy not only ourselves but one another. And we have come so far as people. You know, every single battle that used to go down way back when finished with a war, and those people fought so hard for us to sustain our country and our world, let alone that. Yeah, I don't know, sometimes people on the whole can be so driven by greed that they end up losing their compassion for like the whole fucking outer picture. It doesn't hurt to help other people. If anything, it's a fucking kick. Like, if I could sustain it, like, unfortunately I'm not in a very good financial state at the moment. I owe my mum a bit of money from coming back from travelling, but that's just a lesson in my life that I'm learning from. I've never been good with money, like, ever. That's why I've got so many tattoos, because as soon as I have enough to buy one, I do. And I want to start earning my tattoos now, you know, saving up, but saving up more. I'm gonna go travelling again. If I could, I'd do a world trip, because this world that we live in is stunning. And as humans, we're just taking so much from it that I'm afraid there's going to be nothing left. You know, like, I would love to raise my children in countryside, not over technology. Let them understand that nature's a beautiful thing, but we just take it so much for granted. And I think we can really learn something from what's going on in the world right now. Humanity is never going to be the same again after this. And yeah, I mean, the amount of people that should have just got let off paid. But I feel like there's too many people at the top that are so driven by what's in their pocket that they can't understand that there are thousands of people underneath their belts, underneath their care, that need their help at the moment. I really think it could be a great time for people to just wake up. we're not on this planet alone. We're not here to be alone. And we can use selfishness in the way that we can grow and be selfless towards one another. I know I'm basically saying the same thing, so I'm going to stop this video now. I got loads of thoughts, I guess, going on in my head, and I think just as everyone else, no idea as to what's kind of gonna happen next. And it just goes to show, like, the compassion in people's lives, that the people that do keep up together. I just think, you know, yeah, anyway, I love you all. If you have watched this far, thank you for listening to my incessant rambling. I'll do a video soon when I'm kind of a bit more getting into my groove again. So peace out, love ya, bye.